What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. It means the weekend's almost here. I'm shooting this in advance, so I hope y'all are having a great Friday, and it should be like in the 40s today, which is good because it's gonna be like really warm. And when I mean warm, I mean like 45 to 50, which means fishing. And I'm so excited. If you guys haven't seen Monday's video, I'll put it over in the end. I'll put it up there because I was like, this is the video I've been so excited for. As you guys have heard me, I talk about frogs a lot. I love frogs. Frogs fishing is the best. I caught my PR on it. We talked about that last video. But today we are going to talk about the frogs I have, the frogs I use, and some tips and techniques I picked up along the way. So let's just go ahead and get started. I showed you guys these in my when I did the video going over all my tackle because these are one of my main baits. I'm going to talk a little bit about them. We're really going to hit them really hard today. But we talked about this. I use the Booyah Pad Crasher. That's my frog of choice. I actually got one live target frog this year, which I think is actually going to be pretty good. And I'm excited to try that, and maybe we'll buy some more of those and I'll kind of switch back and forth. But the Booyah Pad Crasher has kind of been the one that I've stuck with and I've used. They're really durable, great action. I love the colors they have. The hooks are great. They really hook into the fish. They have no issues. I really think that they just make a great product. They're actually in the description under the companies I use and trust. Booyah is one of those companies. I have this color, this kind of brown color. I told you guys in that video, a lot of the frogs in our area are kind of this color. They're kind of a darker color. They're kind of like a brownish color. I've got this color, it's a green color, a green-black color, kind of a brighter green, kind of a lighter underbelly. I've got that. I've got this kind of gray, he's clear. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how well we can see that on camera. He's kind of clear, like you can kind of see through him. I got that color. I've also got this Poppin' Pad Crasher, which I haven't used near as much just because I've had so much success with the normal pad crashers, but I'm definitely going to look to throw this a few times this year. This just causes a little bit more water movement on the top of the water. I've got that guy kind of in that similar green color that we had. And then I've got the live target frog. Once again, very similar to the color I told you guys. That really works well in the Booyah Pad Crasher. And then I got a couple different styles of frogs. So this is a lunker hunt frog. As you can see, it's got two kind of whopper plopper tails on the back. I like this guy. He does a really good job across the water. And then I got the Booyah Toad Runner. And it's just a Booyah frog with a whopper plopper tail added to it. So really like these. I've gotten a few hits, haven't caught anything on them. I haven't fished them a lot though. But I really like the way that I can throw them into the weeds and stuff and fish. I like the action off of it. I like the weight of it. And I definitely think, and I got these again late in the year as well. So I didn't have a lot of chances to go out. So really like these. Just a few tips. I really want to share some of my knowledge with you guys. So these are the colors I like. I love this, this Booyah Pad Crasher. We're going to talk about the tail first. So a lot of people sometimes will tell me, hey, I fish with a frog and I don't have a very good hookup ratio, or I seem to miss a lot of fish. And something a lot of people don't know is actually when you get these frogs, their tails can be down to here. I mean, they've got long tassels like their legs. And so a tip that I learned and I picked up that I've done ever since I've gotten frogs is I take the tassels and I pinch them together and I flip it upside down. So I keep them together, I flip it upside down, and then anything that goes past the eyelet, I cut off. So actually, this is one that I've used before actually, and I make sure when I get them out of the box, I just go ahead and do it. But these are actually shorter legs than what come on it. It's something that allows you to do is when it's sitting in the water, so pretend this is sitting in the water and you're the fish and you see this, they see these legs and sometimes they'll come up and they'll hit these legs and try to eat it that way. The longer the leg, the more chance there is for them to hit down here and you can just yank it out of their mouth. So that's a real easy tip. Just real something simple. The moment you get them out of the box, flip them upside down, trim them at that eyelet so that their legs are a little smaller. It gives the fish a little bit smaller target to look at, just kind of a little bit more compact bait, makes it a little smaller. Something else too that I didn't bring it in with me, but I've got the spike it. Remember we talked about the spike it, the garlic scented stuff I use on my plastics. I have like a marker stick that they have, and it's red and it's chartreuse. And something you do during the spawn with these frogs is on their underbellies, kind of up here by their like where their throat would be, kind of. You take the red and you put a stripe there, and then you fill it in with chartreuse on either side, and you do that during the spawn. Kind of helps give a little bit more for the fish to look at. And once again, those markers are garlic scented, so that also helps. Really gives a nice smell as well. Really helps the fish trigger. You get a few more bites. You do that a lot during the spawn. It will help you. So that's something else. And then the technique I fish this with. Another thing I've noticed with people that have fished frogs that struggle is they don't. Frogs are kind of difficult to fish with in the sense a lot of times when you get a topwater hit, you just want to go. Like, it's kind of a reaction thing. Like if a bass hits a buzzbait, so you go, you kind of go, and it, sometimes you can yank the bait out of your mouth. Something I learned that's really hard to do, but if you can do it, it's so helpful with a frog. Is if I don't pop it constantly. I pop it once or twice and I let it sit. And something else too, throw that frog back up in that grass. Throw it in those lily pads. Throw it way back up in there. Bass love to sit in grass. They love to sit under lily pads. Throw it way back up in there. It's rig snagless. It's not going to get snagged. Pop it across there. Pop it through that grass. You'll get a lot of hits like that. You'll get a lot of hits as it comes out of the grass, stuff like that. But I pop it once or twice, maybe 3 times, and I let it sit. And a lot of times I get bass to hit it when it on the paws. So just kind of vary. It doesn't have to be 2 to 3 every time. Sometimes I pop it once and I let it. So kind of change it up. A frog doesn't always swim forward twice when it's out in the water. Sometimes it goes once and it goes 3 times, and then maybe it goes 6 as it's trying to run. So something I've done is I try to mimic that. Maybe I'll pop it once and let it sit. Then I'll pop it 3 times and let it sit. Then I'll pop it twice. Then I'll pop it once again. Just give the fish something different so it's not the same pattern every time. But this is the thing I was talking about that's really hard that it took me a long time to learn. We talk about there being patience when you plastic fish or patience during springtime fishing. Fishing with a frog, there is a split 3-second period of patience. And believe it or not, that split 3 seconds of patience is after the topwater hit. And it is the hardest 3 seconds I think of fishing. You see that blow up, you see something get on your frog, and I literally count out loud. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then I set it. And normally it's a lot faster than that. I don't count that slow. But the reason you want to do that is you want to give the fish a chance to grab it. You want to give the fish a chance to really have it so you don't yank it out of their mouth. And then also you want to give yourself a chance for a big hook set. You got to set the hook really hard to keep a fish on a frog. So all those things are vital, and if you just kind of reactionary set the hook, a lot of times you're going to miss them because you're going to yank it out of their mouth. Another reason why I like to count and wait and why it's so hard is sometimes the fish miss the frog. Even if they hit it, they miss it, and it's still on top of the water. And if you just go and you yank it and it goes flying away, you've lost that opportunity to catch that fish. Sometimes if they hit it and miss it and you're waiting, you're patient, and you notice that frog's still there and you pop it once or twice more, it'll come back and it'll get it that time. So there is a split second of patience, and like I said, it's the hardest 3 seconds I think of the day. And like I said, I don't count that slow in the water. I think it's more like 1, 2, 3. It's a lot faster because I'm so excited. Top water hits are just, they get the adrenaline pumping because it comes up, oh, there's a huge blow up and the water swells, and sometimes, you see this big old bass come out of the water, even jumps with it, and you're like, oh, I want to set it. But my hookup ratio has gone way through the roof ever since I've learned to really slow down once the fish hits and really make sure they have it, make sure they've had a chance to kind of maybe move it around their mouth so I can really get that hook set and get them. A lot of people, something else I've learned is I've seen some people, they'll pop their frog all the way back to the boat, which is fine. You can get some bass to hit it up there, but most of my hits have come around cover, around grass, or right outside the grass. So something to allow you to throw back up in that grass more and more is once you get off that grass a little bit, go ahead and reel it in and fling it back up in there. Those bass are sitting up in there. They want to be in the shade. They want to be in the cooler water. That's where their beds are in the spring. Try to put it where those fish really are, and you're going to have a really good chance You know, so what I've done is I'll go ahead and reel it back in. I won't pop it all the way back to the boat so that I can fish as much of that grass as possible before, you know, I gotta move on to the next spot. So, you know, that's something too. And then there's something else we've talked about when you're frog fishing, and this is a tip too. Have a worm pole or a jig pole ready. And the reason I say that is if you miss a fish, whether he has it or not, maybe the fish gets off, maybe you set the hook too early and it gets taken away. A lot of times if you flip a jig in there, you flip a worm in there after you've missed a fish or had something swell up on it, maybe it didn't get it, a lot of times you can catch that same fish or another fish that's down there by flipping into it, giving them something different to look at. So a lot of times when I'm fishing with my frog, I've got a worm pole close by, I got a jig pole somewhere close by. That way, if I see something swell up, but maybe they don't go for it, or maybe I get a little anxious and pull it out, I can pick up that jig, flip it in there real quick, and sometimes I can catch them like that. So that's another tip that doesn't even have anything to do with the frog, just having other baits ready that you can flip into that grass that you can use. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is by far probably my favorite. Like I said, I love frogs. You're gonna see a lot of frog fishing this year. You're gonna see a lot of topwater frogs. Hopefully a lot of topwater blow-ups. That's my favorite part. And hopefully, like I said, they're big old hogs, like 6 to 7 pounds. I hope that we can catch some of those, take you guys on a journey like that. Remember, videos are always Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You gotta subscribe and hit the bell though to know when they're live. We'll be announcing our new giveaway Monday. You're gonna wanna pay attention to that video because you don't know what you're getting and you don't know maybe where it'll pop up. Might wanna pay attention. I am at Bass Pro today, even though this isn't when you're watching this video I recorded in the past, but I'm talking in the future. But we will have footage from Bass Pro on Monday, and that'll be fun because Bass Pro is awesome. All right, today's comment, I always ask you guys to leave me a cool comment. Today's comment though, is gonna be this. When you're not catching bass, what are you trying to catch? Whether that's catfish, bluegill, crappie. I know a lot of people like to fish multiple species. I'm normally just primarily a bass fisherman. Sometimes I'll fish for some catfish if I want to take home something to eat for dinner. But besides that, I'm pretty much bass fish. I bass fish. But some of you guys like to fish for other species. So if you're not fishing for bass, what are you fishing for? And tell us what your PR is of that. If you caught like a 20-pound catfish, that's awesome. Tell us, we want to know. Besides that, follow us on Instagram. Don't forget, you're gonna wanna know about those Instagrams only giveaways that we're gonna do. Plus, it also keeps you up to date with videos and trips and stuff that we're taking. You don't wanna miss that. We also have a Facebook. That link will also be below. Check out the companies I use and trust. That's below. I've got all the companies listed. You can check out all their great products. They have a lot of awesome stuff. But besides that, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Like I said, it's almost here. Probably could fish this weekend. Probably am gonna go fishing this weekend. Hopefully we'll start getting some fishing footage. If it's warm where you guys are, you guys better start going fishing too. I wanna be able to see pictures from your guys' fishing trips. I gotta go. I've got a Bass Pro trip to prepare for. You guys gotta go because it's the weekend, and get out there and fish. Fish on. Peace.